Do you want to make your DJI RS4 mini gimbal so much easier to use? If you do, then you're going to want to connect up your camera to the gimbal. This is going to let you operate the camera using the physical controls on the gimbal without having to touch the screen or the buttons on their camera. And you can control things like the focus, zooming in and out, starting and stopping recording, and even activate custom functions on the camera. There's two ways to connect your camera to your RS4 mini: Bluetooth and a wired USB connection. I'm going to show you how to do both in this video and help you decide which method is best for you. Let's start off with the Bluetooth connection method, and to make this work you're going to want to make a few changes to your camera settings. I'm going to be demonstrating with this Sony camera, and I'll also put some instructions on screen for a Canon camera if you're a Canon shooter, and I'll show you how to find the exact instructions for your camera if it's not a Sony or a Canon. The first thing you're going to want to do is make sure you're not connected via Bluetooth from your phone to the gimbal or your camera. So for example, on this Sony a7S III, we're going to head into the menu, come down to the network menu, head into Bluetooth, and make sure Bluetooth is turned on. Next, we'll go into pairing. Now the camera is waiting in Bluetooth pairing mode. We can go to the gimbal, power on the gimbal, slide up from the bottom to unlock, and then slide down from the top to enter the settings, tap on the Bluetooth icon, and then tap on camera. Tap confirm, and you should see your cameras show up. Here's the Sony a7S III, and I'm going to tap connect to connect to the camera. And you can see on the camera screen it's asking us to confirm the pairing with the RS4 mini. I'm going to tap OK. And now the camera is paired to the RS4 mini. There's another setting we need to change on this Sony camera, and that's the Bluetooth remote control setting. We'll head down to there, and we need to turn Bluetooth remote control on. We can tap use paired device. If you want to be able to control the zoom settings, on a Sony camera you control the optical zoom if you've got a power zoom lens, but if you don't, you can control the digital zoom from the gimbal. To do that, we need to head into the zoom settings and switch this to digital zoom. And now we can use the controls on the gimbal to zoom in and out. We'll learn more about the controls in just a second. For a Canon camera, for example the EOS R6 Mark II, you'd follow these steps. Feel free to pause or screenshot, and next I'll show you how to connect using the USB cable. Oh, and by the way, after pairing your camera with your gimbal, you should power off the camera and gimbal and then power them both back on, and the Bluetooth should automatically reconnect. If it doesn't automatically connect, sometimes you might have to press the camera control button once to confirm the reconnection. The second method is to connect using the USB cable that came with your gimbal. Connect one end of the cable to the camera control port on the gimbal, and the other end of the cable to the USB port on your camera. On this Sony camera, you're going to want to select the Remote Shoot PC remote function. Once you've plugged in the cable and this screen comes up, click OK for that. You want to come back into the menu, come back to the network menu, choose Connect Remote Shutter, choose Smartphone Connection, and make sure that there's not a smartphone connected. If you want to use the gimbal to change focus, then you're going to want to set the physical lens switch to autofocus, and in the settings, set their camera focus mode to manual focus. For a Canon camera like the R6 Mark II, you'd follow these steps. I'll help you choose which of these two connection methods is best for you in just a second. Let's take a look first at how you can use the gimbal controls to operate the camera. To activate autofocus on the camera, half press the camera control button. To start recording a video, fully press the button in all the way, and to stop recording a video, press it all the way in again. If you want to control the zoom using the joystick on the gimbal, first set the joystick mode switch to zoom control, and then move this joystick up and down to zoom in or out. You can use the front dial to control focus. The M button by default will take a photo, but you can map this to trigger the C1 custom button action on a Sony camera or the function 1 button on a Nikon. To customize what this M button does, unlock the gimbal, slide up from the bottom, slide across to the left, press the M button option, and instead change this to custom function or function 1 button mode. Now when I press the M button on the gimbal, it's going to activate custom function 1 on my Sony a7S III, which I've set up to turn zebras on and off, but you could set it up to do other things too. Activating custom functions is only available when you're connected via Bluetooth and not using the USB cable. So which of these two methods is best for you? Depending on the camera you're using with this gimbal, you're going to get access to different features depending on which method you choose. You can see for the Sony a7S III, if pulling focus electronically is really important to you, then you'd need to use the USB connection method. But if I just wanted to start and stop recording using the gimbal camera control button, I could use either method. You can use the DJI Ronin compatibility checker, which I'll link to in the description. Just choose RS4 Mini and then choose the camera to see what method is best for you. Once you've chosen a camera, clicking on these buttons will also give you detailed connection instructions for your camera. You're going to want to get the most out of this gimbal, so join me in this next video if you really want to get the best out of this thing. I'm Jason Roberts. Please subscribe, I'd really appreciate it, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video.